It is the more offense-based cousin of the laid-back and supportive reliant TJN01 It is TJN01 Gal Marmo, with a kit of Bug, Destroy, Mega Gatling, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Spearhead, which passively buffs heat and cool of equipped parts simply by having the leg equipped. Now, we have actually seen Gal Marmo currently through the 2.5-year anniversary event that is currently ongoing at time of recording, but this will be his official introduction as a model that players can pull for and use. Bug is an ailment-based skill which is more or less turn skip, so when you attack a foe that is in heat phase, it will basically render their entire turn useless and unable to do anything, and also make it a lot easier to land hits, if I recall correctly, with no dodge. Right Arm of Destroy is a shooting-based skill that, simply put, we've seen it before, we've seen it countless times. It is a gambling-based skill. So if it correctly targets and damages a part in the target's heat phase or cool phase, the part is instantly destroyed. In addition to this, if it also damages a shield that is currently active or in play, the shield also is instantly broken, which already makes this rather angry-looking hamster type a little more of a threat on the field than you kind of expect at first glance. Mega Gatling, in its more conventional form of combat in this case, is a standard shooting-based skill with a scattered AoE, similar to Maru, his early cousin, but in this case, Mega Gatling grants Gal Marmo, in this case, a times 1.5 damage bonus as long as his legs are intact. So definitely a little more on the offense-based side if you are going to use any of his parts. Float legs also mean that he is going to have relatively solid coverage across all terrains at A rank and 10% to all leg stats. On the topic of leg stats though, let's take a look at those for a minute. But just to build up to it, at about 3,100 armor per part for his arms and head, relatively higher tier of where you'd want to be, about 2,900 HP for those legs. And that's about as good as it gets, unfortunately. If you look at that melee resist of 389 and that shoot resist of 413, and then compiled on with that evade of 473, those are honestly terrible. Like, not even going into like forgivable territory. This is like high-end, level 1, rank 1 or rank 2 parts capped more than a 5-star capped, which really hurts Gal Marmo's overall viability on the field. He has the mobility at 888 there. That is absolutely not a problem. And the Spearhead ability does grant him a much higher speed bonus, but having such low melee and shoot resist means that he's going to be taking a lot, and I mean a lot, of punish damage from pretty much any hit that lands, which will be pretty much all of them, given that he only has mobility of just barely 500 at best. And this is not even including on his on the 10% bonus that he will get just by being a float leg on all terrains. But even with that the stats that low is unfortunately something that really can't be easily forgiven to make use of. That being said, as a pure set score, I sadly do have to rate Gal Marmo about 4.5 out of 10. And honestly, I'm being very generous with that. I was considering putting him at about 3 or 4, if I'm completely honest, because even though he has the power and the ability between his head and his arms, the leg stats just aren't enough to be forgivable, because even with terrain bonus or even with a higher end kit to make up for it, the legs, as dopey and as silly as they are just not usable. The speed may be there, but unless you got somebody covering him with shield, he is going to be the first to go down and die. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I do have to rate him just a little bit higher, much higher actually, at about a 6.5 out of 10. And that's given that even though his legs are honestly terrible, in more or less every sense of the term, that even the speed can't forgive it. Destroy, Mega Gatling, and Bug are skills that you could use pretty much anywhere with no real issue or drawback, and they are actually very well balanced across the board too. Bug in case of turn skipping or virus ailments for 2-turn stun locking. Destroy, of course, goes without saying for shield busting skills, and then of course Mega Gatling for more conventional shooting skills. That being said, if you are going to use this hamster type at all, do not use those legs. Honestly, those are going to be something collected exclusively for a novelty, and unfortunately, nothing more.